Mortal Kombat. Get over here. Mortal Kombat 2021 is a film adaptation of a multi-video game franchise. But now, with the pointless introduction of Cole. Thank you. Now, if you're seeing above me, this is not a Mortal Kombat character. This is our cat Tucko. Now, me and my fiance did watch this on HBO Max on Sunday. Hashtag not sponsored. Because this review is probably not gonna do very well with viewers. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Now, Mortal Kombat opening weekend did make 23 million, and Demon Slayer made 20 million as of recording this video. It might be up to 21. Not sure, I haven't checked IMDb. But Demon Slayer is also an anime that is on Netflix. So just to see where the movie theater landscape is. Number one is Mortal Kombat, obviously, on HBO Max and in theaters, and Demon Slayer is number 2. That came out in other countries last year in 2020, and in America in this year, and is number 2. Now, let's get to the movie. The movie starts off pretty well with Bihan and Sub-Zero. Now, it's Elder Bihan and Sub-Zero, and I forget the name of Elder Sub-Zero, so if anyone watches this review and, is nitpicky and, wants to criticize me for that, go right ahead. But anyway, it does start with a pretty epic fight. It gives us a little backstory because Elder Scorpion Bihan is with his wife and 2 kids. He has 2 sons. He has a baby and a child. Sorry about that. I basically have, it's in shot too, so it's perfectly centered. It's pretty great. Okay, he's walking away. He's offset. Anyway, now, after this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you don't want spoilers, I will give my 2 cents on the movie. I think the fights are pretty well choreographed. I think they do really well. The actual story they give it, they didn't use any story from any of the video games. They create their own for this, and I could see why they would do that, honestly, but for Mortal Kombat fans, or just cursory knowledge of Mortal Kombat, because my fiance, me and her, mainly her, played Mortal Kombat 11, and we had to look up the names for, other fighters in the movie. So I'm, not gonna give all the names because I simply do not know them. But it's a good movie. I would give it a 5 out of Mortal Kombat 11. Anyway, back to the spoiler, which I'm pretty sure is in the trailers, I'll get to at the end of the review. But it starts off with Bihan and Elder Sub-Zero. Now, they're both middle-aged men. I'm pretty sure they're in Japan. This is 14th century, maybe 15th century. Then they have a pretty, I don't want to say this, but pretty epic fight. And Sub-Zero does kill Scorpion. He, it's a movie, so Scorpion literally gets a few dozen punches in with Sub-Zero. He fucking stabs him, I think. And okay, Sub-Zero does kill his family. Now, he kills the mother, and then he kills the younger child. So this movie is okay with, killing children. They just don't want to kill the baby. And I think that's part of Scorpion younger Scorpion, I think, but they ditched that out for the new character Cole. Now, the movie wants you to believe that like Cole is the baby, but that would be insane. Mainly because Raiden takes the baby after because Scorpion does like limp his way back, or he like crawls his way back to try to get to his family, but he dies and he goes to hell. Pretty sad. Then Raiden shows up, and Raiden takes the baby, not Cole by the way, to Earthrealm, and then you flash forward probably 500-600 years later, and you see Cole. Now, some executive or some writer thought this was a good idea. I personally don't. I think the entire existence of Cole is kind of stupid. Now, it's not, I'm not saying the actor's bad. The actor does pretty well. Just the writing and direction for Cole is not the best. Cole is an MMA fighter. And he is taking dives. Tell me if you heard this one before. He's taking dives so he can get his get more money, essentially, you know, for his wife and daughter. Tell me if that's a real game changer. But before the movie gets too boring, you see Jax, and you're like, oh my god, it's Jax. And then the movie starts getting interesting. It's teetering on good when Jax shows up, because Jax has a fight with Sub-Zero, and Jax obviously has metal arms, but he does not at the beginning, so you know what happens. Arms cut off. The fights are really good. I don't want to keep harping on it, but the fights are well choreographed, they're well acted, and they've probably shot it like half a dozen to maybe even more, amount of times. Now, I won't say Cole, this actor, is the worst actor in the film, or actress in the film, but he's not the best, but he's certainly not the worst. Then you see Jax fighting Sub-Zero. Cole goes away with his family. Before he goes away to his family, though, he has to find Sonya Blade. Now, Sonya Blade, when he does find her, she does have strings on the walls, like attaching to other things, like it's Homeland or something. And the Mortal Kombat with a K, and they make a joke about it. It's like, that's not how you spell combat. And then you meet Kano. Now, Kano is like in 60% of the movie. Now, if you've played any of the video games or watched the first movie in 1995, the year I was born, you know that Kano is a bad guy. He works for the villains, and he's Australian. That actually was a touch of the original first movie, Mortal Kombat. In the original, Kano was just like an Asian guy, and for the movie they made him an Australian. I'm pretty sure he still had the laser eye. I could be mistaken. I did not play those because I was infant. But I'll go on. So mainly they want you to think Kano, if you haven't seen or played Mortal Kombat, they want you to believe Kano will, like, oh, he might turn to the good side, oh, he might like teeter off and like, hey, he's gonna be a good guy. And that's not what happens. Basically, Kano has a fight with some random monster. I do not know the name, so don't get mad at me. But they have a fight, and then he says, "Flawless victory." They don't play the John Cena music. It'd be pretty funny if they did, but I digress. So Sonya does not have the Mortal Kombat tattoo. Now the tattoo, or the, you know, marking or whatever, means you can be in the competition. So she tags along. She can't, you know, fight in the competition. But they go through the desert. They use Kano's plane because Kano has fucking connections for some reason. It's like, okay, Kano wasn't even supposed to be in Mortal Kombat. But he has connections to like a plane to get him over where they need to be. I'm like, okay, sure. And then they meet Liu Kang, and you see the shadow of Liu Kang first. You're like, is that Liu Kang? And then you're like, yes, that's Liu Kang. Holy shit, is that Liu Kang? Anyway, the movie teeters on the fact that like Kano could be a good guy, which would be interesting if... Okay, Kano is the comic relief, and he's kind of funny, but should be another character. It should be the funnier character, the wittier character, the Cage. Johnny Cage is who I'm talking about. Johnny Cage, in fact, is not in this movie. There's Sonya, there's Jax, there's Liu Kang, there's Kung Lao, who shows up in a little bit. There's Shang Tsung, and there's Goro. I'm trying to think of all the names. I'm a little stuck right now, but they do find Liu Kang, and Liu Kang takes them the rest of the way. So they get to the temple, Liu Kang's temple, and Kung Lao is there. In the movie, they say they're cousins, but I could be mistaken. They could be cousins in the video games. I'm not sure, honestly, but they could be. Now here's the thing. Kano, because he gets a power, because Jax has metal arms, and they're really, they're not muscular or anything. They're just like the start of his like metal arms, so they're not the best yet. And the other character, Jax gets metal arms. Sonya is not in the competition, so she's just like a soldier, and Jax is also a soldier, but he's got metal arms. Kung Lao has his hat that does the, and you know, just cuts the head off. Liu Kang has magical powers. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, but he does have magical powers. I think he can shoot fire from his hands. Anyway. And then there's Cole, the most boring character in it. Honestly, it could have just been Liu Kang. They didn't need fish out of water type of situations for Cole, because they said they have Sonya and they have Jax. I don't know why they initially needed Cole. Mainly, I think they just needed it for one scene when Raiden tells him about his family lineage. That Scorpion is his great grandfather. And he's like, whoa, I don't care. Wouldn't that be funny? Anyway. Then Kano gets his laser eye because he's a racist, ignorant Australian. And, you know, they get him mad, and then he's like saying a bunch of racist, fucked up shit. And they were like, oh yeah, Kano's not supposed to be a good guy. He's gonna turn. And they make him turn in the stupidest, probably funniest way. I don't know if it was on purpose, but okay. Here's the scene. I didn't have it written for the review, but I'm just gonna say it. Okay. Kano's best friend is a part of Shang Tsung's team. So they're villains. But Shang Tsung's team has this guy. I can't remember who it's supposed to be in the video games. I think someone would tell me if anybody commented on these videos, but probably not. Anyway, he has like a mask. He's like, it's a voice filter, and I think it's someone famous. I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's someone famous. But basically what happens is he's like, yo, Kano, these people, they're good or whatever, and you're a dog, you're a piece of dog shit, my friend. We have, our side's cooler, man. Yo, come with us, bro. Yo, yeah. And Kano's like, what the heck? I wanna be on the good villain side or whatever. And I can't do an Australian accent, but I'm gonna be like, oh, shrimp on the barbie. I'm gonna put some shrimp on the barbie. Sorry. Yeah. But basically that's how the scene goes, without the shrimp on the barbie stuff. And he's very easily swayed to the dark side, and then he cuts the power. I don't know how. He just cuts the power or something. The magic powers that the force field isn't up, because Raiden does have a force field among the entire Liu Kang's palace or whatever, and he breaks that somehow. It's fairly vague, but you do get the coolest death with Shang Tsung's girlfriend. She's like a bird lady, and this might sound insane, but Kung Lao fights the bird lady, and I'm pretty sure he slices her head off with his hat, and it's probably one of the coolest scenes in the movie. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't think the movie takes itself that seriously. It's a video game movie, but sometimes they do, and sometimes it works. That's just a pretty great fight scene. And probably the best fight scene, there is a fight scene at the end that is pretty cool, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, we're getting to the end of the movie. Alright, I swear. So, Cole's power is like Scorpion's power. They're both fire related. Now, Cole has this, not a Mortal Kombat shirt, but he has like, I don't know, it's like a mesh shirt or something. And sometimes it looks good because they put like effects on it, so it sounds really dumb. It kind of looks like, I don't know, zigzaggy lines on a plain shirt, like a tan shirt, like a long sleeve tan shirt. I'm trying to explain it the best I can. But he fights Goro, and that's a pretty good scene. He's protecting his family, his wife and daughter. Cole wins, and he doesn't say anything or do anything because he wasn't a video game character, and I can't remember if they had him say anything remotely cool. But then Sub-Zero kidnaps Cole's family, and they mentioned earlier that Bihan is in hell training, like, to come back and kill Sub-Zero. So, surprise, surprise, you did see it in the trailer. It is now Bihan, now Scorpion, against the other character, now Sub-Zero. And they are fighting to the death. The Mortal Kombat, if you will. But it would be a pretty good fight scene. I think it would be pretty entertaining by itself. But you have Cole, and he's the main character. So you see Cole trying to like chip away at the ice, but he can't do anything. So you have this like epic fight scene going on, like get over here, that you saw in the trailer, and you know, all that shit. And then you see Cole like, hey my family, no. And it kind of cuts the dramatics of it. It did actually make me feel something when, you know, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are fighting, and when Sub-Zero does die, it actually holds a little weight. And then Cole comes in and ruins that. Because me and my fiance did think by the end of the movie, the last big fight scene, that there would be like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes more. But it is a 2-hour movie, so it's not like 2.5 hours. It's not like 2001: A Space Odyssey, time length-wise. So basically, they win, but Mortal Kombat competition hasn't happened yet, so I'm thinking they're gonna make a sequel. They're probably gonna make a sequel. They do tease a certain someone. They go back. Cole's doing his MMA stuff. He's not, you know, cheating anymore, I guess. And you see the next fight of a poster. Oh, it's right. It's over. Oh, it's right up there. Oh my, is it? It's fucking Johnny Cage. Holy fucking shit, bro. But yeah, they tease you with Johnny Cage, and then that's it. That's the end of the movie. Literally, Sonya fights Kano for 5 minutes. She kills Kano. She gets the Mortal Kombat emblem, the Mortal Kombat, and I think that was probably the worst addition. She can kill Kano, but why add like 40 fucking minutes of him being the comic relief when he dies in like 5 minutes? Nobody gives a shit. He has some funny lines, like maybe a few. Sorry, I went on a rant. This is the end of the review. I give it a 5. I don't know if I gave it a 5 out of 5. Maybe I'll give it a 6 out of 5 now, after explaining. 6 out of 5 out of Mortal Kombat 11. So, I would recommend Mortal Kombat 11. It's a pretty great video game. We did get a little pissed at the end because, you know, to kill the person. I can't remember her fucking name. But Mortal Kombat 11 is pretty great. And Mortal Kombat 2021 is mediocre. Excellent not excellent cinematography. The choreography is pretty great. The acting all around is pretty great. Cole's direction and the writing for Cole, I think, is kind of bad, but it's not the actor's fault. So I would kind of recommend it. If you have HBO Max, if you're already paying for it, go right ahead. If you like Mortal Kombat, that's great. So, alright, that's the end of the review, and have a nice day. Get over here. Dun, 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 dun.